Are you there?
Welcome in, welcome in. We're here again with another episode of Real Talk with Charlene. Yours truly. If this is your first time here, it's all about wellness, information, awareness, knowledge that's going to keep you going, knowledge that's going to improve your life. In this particular series, right now we're focused on marriage, relationships, and how to build a community of true love and great, happy relationships. Personally, I got tired of seeing people in pain and turmoil over just unhappiness because we don't understand how to communicate properly or just how to build a good relationship. I have a special guest with us for this episode. She's going to talk to us about, yes, that's right, the reality of marriage. So we're going to get some juiciness out of her. We're going to ask questions like, what did you think of marriage before you actually got married? And now what is it like? What's the reality? What's happening? How do you settle your differences? What is all this thing about marriage? For you singles, this might be a good one for you because you want to know what you're getting into. And of course, every relationship is different. I just want a thumbs up for my sister in the back just to make sure that she's good to go. We had some tech issues, so I just want to make sure. All right, so please help me welcome my sister Tiara Timmons from Best Fit Stafford. Welcome in,
Hi.
sis. Hello,
Hello.
hello.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being here. I know we had some, miscommunication and tech issues, but here we are, ready to deliver. You are a pro. I'm telling you. I was ready to say, let's just do this another time, but she said no. I'm a woman of my word. I'm a businesswoman. I'll be there, and I honor you for that, sis. Gorgeous as always.
Thank you. So do you. You look beautiful.
Oh, girl, I am so tired, but I'll take it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Receive it. Receive it. Receive it.
That's right, with love. So I am just gonna jump right into it. Just give us a little background about your marriage. How long have you been married? And what made you say yes to your husband?
So I've been married now for about 6 years. He is my best friend. I knew that he was the one for me because of the way that we started off our relationship. We actually dated for about 6 months, almost to a year, and we did not have any sex at all. It was just
Wow.
6 months of per dating. Like, he didn't force me. I didn't, the times that I did force it, it was kind of like, I think we should wait. You know what I mean? Like, he
Mhm.
told me that, so I was kind of surprised about that. Yeah, so we've been married now for about 6 years. I knew he was the one because he was patient, he was kind, and he was loving towards me. And like I said, I think for me, what sealed the deal is that we laid a foundation of a friendship first. I think
Oh.
really omitting like the intimacy out of the equation, because when you have
Mhm.
sex with people, it tends to like overcloud your emotions, and you think you're in love because you had sex. You
Yes.
know what
Yes.
I mean?
I just had a conversation about that. It brings on, I don't want to say fake love, but you're not seeing that person outside of that. And, I believe like a relationship, if it's going to last, it has to be deeper than just,
So,
physical sex. So I think that's beautiful. That's a beautiful story. So you got to know him. He's your best friend, and now you're married. And how do you find like resolving your differences? Because we're not all alike, we're gonna have differences. Like, how do you guys settle? Like, let's say you have an argument, if you do argue, how do you work that out?
well, to be honest with you, I think what makes us unique, everyone, is that we do have differences. So I'm the type of person that I like to debate about things. I like to have a challenge, and that's what kind of makes the spark in relationships. I feel I don't ever want anyone to be on the same political page with me sometimes, but I think a little bit of miscommunication debating is actually healthy. So I would say, to answer your question, a lot of communications, and I've learned to just agree to disagree. because there's no way I'm going to change his mind about topics. So I think the
Exactly.
key is respecting his thoughts and opinions about a topic. And I need him to respect mine. And let's just move on.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. You no wonder we're buddies. I mean, seriously. That's exactly how I feel. I have to honor the way you think and feel, and you do the same for me because, honey, if you don't do it for me, I'm sorry. I'm probably not going to do it back for you. This is why I love who I'm with because he totally gets that. And, I believe we have to respect each other. In my opinion, like, I don't know for your marriage, is it each person has their power position? So it's not like, okay, he's the head and I'm the tail. Or is it like, how is that dynamic for you? Everyone is different.
Well, men, I still have to, I'm a very alpha female and I'm very, I'm very aggressive. So I just have to remind myself that he does need to be the head of the household. So for me, I just have to kind of like tone it down a little bit. I don't want to over masculate him
Hmm.
by saying that, okay, we're both, I'm dealing with an alpha male. So we're both like, rah 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 rah. You know what I mean? So to be honest with you, I let him have his alpha male some tail. I'm sorry, the head, and
Hmm.
allow him to be a man without over clouding him as a man. I have to constantly remind myself at times he needs to do this because it's his job as a man and not do things. So it's a lot of thought goes into things before I say stuff to him.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that's actually wise and it's a loving way to go as well because I realize men are so different from us in the way they think and vibe. And, I'm learning. I am always learning. They just need things spoken to them in plain English. Keep it clear, keep it simple, and they're good to go.
Right. It's one thing I do say in my marriage when I wake up to him every day, because I'm a nurturer and I think most women are like, we just want to fix situations and we just want to make it right. But then sometimes you're
Mhm.
taking away the little power from your men sometimes. So, what I do say to him daily when we wake up is, how are you today? How are you mentally? And is there anything I can do for you today? And that's it. Like, other than that, you have your day. I have my day. Have a good day, and that's it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think it's important to check up on them and their mental health.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm taking that from you because I would ask how you're doing here and there, but that's a ritual that you do. I think that's really good. I think I'm going to take that one. I'm always open to learning. I received that one. I'll take it.
Listen, I learned from somebody the other day, and I just started doing that about 2 weeks ago because you wake up in the morning and you're taking care of the kids, you're cooking, and you're heading to work. But sometimes you forget to ask your husband, like, how are you? Good morning. How are you today? How are you mentally today?
Yeah.
It's really good to check on their mental health.
Yeah. Thanks for that one. Guys in the chat, welcome in. Thank you all for being here. I see you. Shadine Homesaw Cooking, Rochelle, Cool Gamer, K Plus, members in the house. Shout out. I see Gamer Bro. I see Joshua. Rudy, welcome in. King K, and there's someone else that I don't see the name. I'm so sorry, it went away. Welcome in. Just Dizzy, welcome, 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 and love and blessings to everyone. Now, we're not going to keep our guest long because she's so busy, but I just want her to take a moment and just tell us about Best Fit Staffing. She's an entrepreneur, juggling marriage, business, so much. So just tell us a little bit about Best Fit Staffing, and then how does that fit into your marriage? How do you make marriage and business work? How do you balance that?
I'm going to be very transparent. I'm not here to put on a show for anybody.
You
I'm here
always
to
are
be my
transparent.
authentic self. It's not easy, but it was a very, very difficult time in my marriage where the business got in the way and I had to have a reality check and I had to speak with other people and how do I make this work? And now what I do is I no matter what's going on in my business, I take time off a day or two and I try to balance. It's still a work in progress, but the key is balance and forcing yourself to take your time off and ending your schedule. Like me, I used to work all times of night. Now I have a hard cutoff. Like I'm off at 4 o'clock. I
Mhm.
cannot, I just have boundaries now more than I had ever to protect myself, mental health, number one, my husband, my family, and whatever's going on, it has to wait till tomorrow. That's it. Like I'm not taking any calls.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
What do you do? What do you do?
I like that a lot. I like what you're doing. I'm actually still in the process of figuring everything out because I just had a change in my environment. So I'm still trying, working on finding my flow. So I'm not quite there yet, but you're right. I was actually just thinking, I think it was last night. I'm like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. I need to cut myself off at a certain time because I do believe when your body says rest, you rest. And last night I was just doing so much. And something came up on my phone that says, "Oh, don't wait till you're tired to rest." And I'm like, "Oh my God, wow." It's like that was meant for me. Don't wait until you're tired to rest. So if you need to take a little break or whatever, do it because when I don't get enough rest, Monster Charlene come out and she's not very nice.
And
So
you know what? Also, I had to readjust my schedule. Now I wake up at 5 a.m. every morning and I take care of, yes. So this came with a sacrifice. So I'm still trying to figure out a great balance too. But what works for me now is waking up at 5, from 5 to 7. That is my time to get my companies together. And then from 7, and then I go to the gym like around 8. Believe it or not, I'm on a schedule. And that's what works for me. So I can have time to give my husband attention, give my mental health attention because I'm being
yes,
pulled in like so many different directions. But I had to make a sacrifice. 5 a.m. every morning.
yeah. I do like 6:30. I'm naturally like a night person, night writer, but my change is making me now get up around 6:15, some days 6:30, but I knew I needed that because I'm like, okay, with all that I have to do, I have to make sure I have my meditation time before I get the kids going and start my day because that is so important for me. Sometimes I meditate late at night or during the day, but there's something beautiful about the morning meditation. It's like the beginning of the day. It's new and fresh. So I'm getting
Yeah.
back into my rhythm. So I'm so grateful for that.
I think the morning
April.
times,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, sis.
oh, no worry. I think the morning times are awesome to meditate. It's so quiet in the morning before everyone gets up. That's
Hmm.
again, that's a sacrifice that I made. It is what it is. People say, oh, you're crazy, 5 a.m. You know what? 5, I'm meditating, I'm praying, I have a clear mind. No one's calling me,
Hmm.
everyone's sleeping. It's beautiful. Like, it
You just
really is.
you're in your
Yeah.
bliss state. It's peaceful and you get to tune into whatever vibration you want to tune into. And you know what's funny? You don't feel tired. You feel so energized and great. The first day, the first 2 days of it might be hard. But once your body gets that lesson, like, listen, we're getting up at this time, and you just set your mind, listen, this is my new program. I'm going for it. I'm getting it done. There's no way around it. You're just going to get it done. You got to
Yep.
discipline your body.
Absolutely. So tell me some of the challenges or some what ways do you communicate with your husband as well? Like what do you find works for you?
Well, for me personally, with my husband, it has been because just like you, we started off as friends. Oh my gosh, how long did we date? It might have been around 6 months to a year. Same kind of story. That's why I was smiling in the background. But funny story, just a little backstory. I didn't know that he liked me, and I didn't know that he didn't know that I like him. We just kind of met at a business meeting. And the first time I heard this man's voice, I said, wow, he could be my husband. Mind you, it's the very first time I met him, but it's like my soul just knew or something. He could be my husband. But, we had different business meetings, and he just would never show that he liked me or anything. And how the universe had it, like we would have these meetings with other people, but somehow always wind up together alone. So it kind of always kind of felt like a date without being a date until one day he decided, you know what, girl, I don't like you. And I'm like, what took you so long?
I
But of
know.
course, we'll be like, I am just grateful because we built up that friendship. So it makes it easier for me to communicate. To me, friendship is a foundation of a lasting relationship. Here's why, because sometimes I go to him to speak with my friend, not my husband, if that makes sense to you. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, my husband might not like what I'm about to say, but as a friend, I need you to hear me out. Can you listen to this? And we don't always agree. And that's okay with me, and that's okay with him. We respectfully agree to disagree Because I realized, just like you said, he's not always gonna get my opinion, and I'm not always gonna get his. Sometimes it's like oil and water, and you know what? Fine, you have your thought. Stick with that if it works for you, but I'll keep mine. And no one is fighting each other to like, okay, you have to do it. If I'm being honest, like I don't remember us really having any big fight that is like, oh my god, we're just out of sync, out of whack. We really just do math, keep it
I
simple.
mean,
And yeah, we reason it out to the logics of it. Like, okay, wait a minute, what are we talking about here? And we
I
just
mean,
talk it out.
if you think about it as a woman, like, would you really want a man that agrees with you on everything that you say? Like, oh,
Boring.
the sky is blue. Oh yeah, babe, you're right. The sky is blue. Or maybe we should go that. Yeah, babe. You don't want. For me, I want to debate. I want to talk about this. I want to like. How do you
Singing
think the
in my
sky?
mind. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. And
I
you
want to
like a man
argue
that
a
can
bit.
stand up for you a little bit as well. Like, don't just agree. Don't be a pushover. Like, just stand
Exactly. Like,
up. Yes.
yeah. Tell me why do you think this? I want to know why. And I want to tell you how you're wrong. You know what? What we do a lot. Let's Google it. Let's Google it. So we'll Google it. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Oh my God. My husband is funny. He would go like, oh, I'm usually right. It's very seldom that I'm wrong. And I gotta give it to him. Most of the time he usually is right. So when I do get my one right in, I go like, hey. And he would go like, okay. But I'm like, come on, you can't let me win that one. I just won. But
I know,
in a
right?
kind of playful way. It's really never like, okay, my ego
Yes.
taking over and all that stuff. Do I get mad at him sometimes? Yeah, but it's so easy for me to bypass that and just focus on, okay, what's the real emotion here? Like, why am I really feeling that? I have to like tune into what's causing this problem. And sometimes it's silly little things like I'm tired or I didn't get enough sleep or I just got so much going on that I gotta shut these things down and just get myself balanced. Sometimes that's all it takes.
How long have you been married?
7 years.
Oh,
And
nice.
if I'm being honest, I just started remembering how long. They say time flies when you're having fun. We never even used to remember which day we were married on or how long it's been. And now I kind of learned to count it. I'm like, oh, okay. Because I'm like, it's just a number, whatever. I'm in this thing with you. We're having a great time. And as the years come and unfold, I feel like we're growing so well together. And there's so much more that I want to explore with him. Marriage is beautiful. It could be heaven or hell. Depends on what you make it. So I'm grateful for the foundation I set with him. And I commend you for having that. A lot of people are not that fortunate. And whose fault is that? Not to point fingers, but we all are responsible for the life that we live. Every situation we're in, we created it. So you have it in you to change your situation. If you need counseling, find counseling. It's not impossible to turn things around. My mom always say, where there's life, there's hope.
I
So
think that I think when you're really serious about settling down with someone, I think for me it's very important to take sex out of it and just focus on truly getting to know one another and not let
mhm,
it. You know what I'm saying, just kind of like date the person, have fun. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
get to know who you're dealing with because everyone has a mask on when you're first, meeting them. They're gonna. It's like they're gonna show you like this good side about them, but who are you really? Take your time and get to know who you're dealing with.
I totally agree because everyone is like in their best outfit. When I say best, I don't mean physically best, but you're putting on your best behavior because you kind of want to lure that person. And not saying that they're not being true to who they are, but you're not seeing all of the different aspects. And I say before you get married to someone, make sure you see them when they're angry so you understand how to deal with that because anger is real and some people can go really overboard with anger, and some people they know how to manage it. We all get angry, but it could be a monster if you don't handle that well. So,
Yeah. It's so
before
funny
we
because I was
go,
talking to my friend the other day and I was
mhm,
like, one thing that we don't do when we're dating is we need to start asking about mental health questions like how do ask probing questions to find out where their mindset is as well. Like, there's just so many ways for you to learn to get to know someone. Just take your time. Be their friend. Be their friend.
Exactly. There's really, really no rush. I'm going to ask you two things before we close. The first thing is, what advice would you give to someone that's single or in a relationship now and they're thinking about getting married? What should they know before getting married? Just two things you can think of off the top of your head.
First things first is when you wake up in the morning, do you like to be next to that person? Do you like the person? You have to
Mhm.
like the person for them, not monetary, sexual. You got to actually say, I like this person. It has to be your best friend. Like, like you said, as a friend, friends first. If you
Mhm.
can't, if you can't go to your friend and talk to your friend, then how are you going to go to your husband? That's just how I feel. And then my second advice I would say is always pray. Well, that should be the first one. Pray and ask God for discernment and wisdom to make sure
Mm.
that it is the guy that God wants you to marry. Pray. Yeah. He
Wisdom
will reveal
definitely.
to you.
Mm-hmm. I keep
Yeah.
cutting you off. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
And the last question is your husband, because I find a lot of people that are in business together can sometimes have conflicts. Is your husband part of your business or is he in his own business?
absolutely not. No, he does his own thing. I do my own thing. And for me, that is what works for us. I can't speak on any other relationship
Mhm.
or any other, maybe it works for someone else, but because we're, again, I'm alpha woman and he's a very aggressive man as well. It won't work out.
Gotcha. Oh my God, totally gotcha. That said, ladies and gentlemen, that was it. Please thank our guest for being here. Let's appreciate her, show her some love. If there's any last words you would like to share with the audience, just go ahead and share freely, and then we'll say goodbye. Goodbye. See ya.
Peace and love. That's it. Peace and love. Find it.
Totally. Peace within yourself and peace externally. Inner peace, peace starts with you. Hi, Mountain of Inspiration. We're heading out, my brother. I'm so happy to see you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for everyone that liked and shared this out. We appreciate it. Really, the purpose of me doing these particular sessions is because, I've seen a lot of marriage fall apart, and I believe as a community we could do better. And I figured if I could do a part just by bringing people on or sharing my own experience, and not just looking at the good, we look at the good, the bad, everything in between, because one true healing, you gotta talk about the ugly stuff too. You gotta bring it out into the open and be real, be honest, be open, and that's how the journey of healing begins. There's too many broken hearts out there, too many family torn apart. So I'm just doing my part, and I ask you to do your part by sharing, liking this, and if you have something to add to the panel that I'm doing, just email me. You know where my contact information is, and let's just share with our community. After this segment, we're going to jump into parenting. So the next session is going to be on parenting. So if you have anything to add to that, make sure you reach out to me before next Monday, 7 p.m., and we'll have a discussion on how we're going to present parenting. That is a major one. So thank you so much, Miss Tiara. Stay beautiful. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Beautiful.